Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next segment. For our next segment, we have a metaphoric doctor, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the cure to all your cyber security ailments. Let's give it up for Mr. Pramod Khanna, Country Manager, India and SAARC, Blackberry. A big round of applause for Mr. Khanna. Mr. Khanna, we at 𝐂𝐲𝐿 do things very differently. Of course, by now you know the trend. Small question we'll be asking you, small answer is what we expect because we want the maximum number of time for our lovely audience members. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Khanna, when we were reading Sir's bio, super impressive bio, let us add. One bit is just what we personally love, is the fact that you're a National Institute NIT, that is Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh alumni. My God, Himachal is a beautiful spot. Sir, so our question to you is, what is that one thing Himachal Pradesh has, considering you've stayed there for good 4 or many years, that other metropolitan cities can only dream of?
You know it. It's the clean, neat and clean environment and pure air.
Absolutely fantastic, beautiful answer, and I can vouch for that because I also happen to be from Himachal. Beautiful answer, sir. And yes, stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
So the picture was a pretty old picture of mine. I mean, during the COVID time, I had also grown up the beard and stuff like that. But now things are looking good and everyone is back to normal. I'm sure all of you must be wondering what Blackberry is into cybersecurity, right? Blackberry, almost a decade back, was kind of a big brand name when it came to the mobile devices. I'm sure a lot of you must have used the Blackberry device using the email communication during the enterprises. But during the course of time, Blackberry actually moved out and successfully transitioned itself from a mobile device company into a cybersecurity company. It did a couple of acquisitions during the last 5-6 years, and as a result of which the company didn't die down, but company today is a strong, thriving brand and is growing in revenue, is acquiring customers, and is doing great business. I'll just play a small video first.
Since day one, we've been determined to change the world. Our devices placed the office in the palm of your hand and changed how we work forever. Our vision has expanded. Now we're pairing artificial intelligence with our trusted security and putting it everywhere. For too long, security was about what you stopped, but the Internet of Things is making everything smarter, including cyber threats. We've never been more connected or more vulnerable. As ransomware and cybercrime explode, security needs to do more. It needs to stay ahead of threats. It needs to keep you safe. It needs to be intelligent. Prevention is the best medicine. This is especially true for IT systems. Much like vaccines prevent infection, our intelligent security is a prevention-first approach that stops cyber attacks before they can launch. If there is a breach, we have remediation solutions and services ready and in place. We help our customers solve their most critical security challenges. We protect more than 500 million endpoints, including over 195 million cars. We have design wins with 23 of the top 25 electric vehicle OEMs, ensuring vehicle safety and security. 45 of Fortune 100 companies trust us with their security. Our security is NIAP certified as classified. It is the highest security level awarded for government and industry. While cybersecurity lets you stop threats, intelligent security gives you the freedom to reach higher, go further, and dream bigger. Blackberry Intelligent Security lets you change the world again.
Yeah. So as you saw in the video, Blackberry was well known for 3 things. It was the trust, it was innovation, and it was security. Even 30 years back, 35 years back, when Blackberry started the journey, This is a quick snapshot of what BlackBerry did in the last 35 years. And all this is based on the three main principles of trust, innovation, and security. So it transitioned. It's a 35-year-old company based out of Waterloo in Canada. We did good amount of business, almost a decade back in India, but now again we are restarting our business in India. So as you heard today, we are securing almost 500 million endpoints, including 150 million cars, 12,000 plus customers in the cybersecurity space that we are securing. 9 out of 10 banks, all G7 countries that we are working with, and all the top 10 car companies companies that are making the electric vehicles. So we all know about the chaos which is there in the cybersecurity space. I mean, I don't need to talk about it. We know it's all about the number of devices, number of security, firewall, IPS, IDS, so many devices people have put in, and still we see there are breaches happening, there are ransomware attack happening. Recently, one of the large airline company, their organization got breached and their entire flight operations came to a halt. So in spite of doing $1 million or hundreds and thousands of dollars of expenses in building up the cybersecurity platform for the organization, which we call it as a defense in depth, we are still seeing the breaches happening. And there could be number of reasons because of the number of vendors, number of geopolitical tensions, the number of consoles. The CISO or the security team is not getting a single view of the console. They are not able to manage things, and as a result of which we are seeing all these kinds of threats happening. So what is BlackBerry bringing it to the customers now? So we are providing one solution, and over the period of last couple of years, what BlackBerry did is that they acquired a couple of organizations. One was Cylance, which was well known for the AI ML based signatureless technology, which BlackBerry acquired. Cylance was one of the first company. It was founded by McAfee, two ex-McAfee guys who exited McAfee and founded Cylance. BlackBerry acquired them in 2019, and they are one of the leaders and one of the most advanced AI and ML engine what we have today in the marketplace. This was one major acquisition that Cylance did. Apart from this, there was another large acquisition which BlackBerry did was in the mobile device management space. BlackBerry acquired a company called Good Technology almost around 2012, 2013, and integrated the security thread, what BlackBerry was known for, into the mobile devices. And today, as we are seeing that a lot of people are using mobile devices to access their corporate application, securing the devices, securing the mobile devices apart from your laptop, tablets, and other things has become critically important. This was another major acquisition that BlackBerry did. Apart from this, there was another large acquisition of a company called Watchdogs. This was into digital rights management and file rights management. And BlackBerry acquired this company somewhere around 2017. So all these three major acquisitions, apart from this, there were a couple of more acquisitions that BlackBerry did. But these three were main acquisitions through which BlackBerry actually integrated and came up with this one single agent, one console, one cloud solution, which will give you a complete perspective and will give you a complete holistic view of cybersecurity. So today, I mean, what BlackBerry claims is that, and what we are seeing is that the attack surface is increasing. My earlier colleagues who talked about in the panel discussion, what we heard is that the perimeter has dissolved. The data center has become securing the data center, which was like a defense in depth, has become expense in depth, because you are putting more technology, you are putting firewall, you are putting IPS, you are putting IDS, you are putting antivirus, you're putting WAF, you're putting so many things, but still breaches are happening. So defense in depth has actually become expense in depth. So we are trying to cut that through because data is sitting in silos. Organizations are not able to correlate the data, and that is one of the biggest reason they are not able to do the detections and the breaches. They are not even aware that the breach has happened in the organization. And only when the compromised data is being put on the darknet, the regulator or the organizations or the people come to know that the breach has actually happened. So the detection is very poor. And with BlackBerry solution, what we are able to see is that all the point solutions we have, we are able to secure almost 96% plus attack surface. Because your perimeter, your hybrid cloud environment, all your endpoints which are there, which has now become the perimeter where people are working from home, people are working when they are on the move, right? So your entire threat landscape has completely, the perimeter security has completely dissolved. These are some of the customers that BlackBerry has, some of the global names. We have quite a few big brands in India also who are our customers, right? So how we are doing this? So as I said, BlackBerry acquired Cylance, which was one of the leaders in the AI software and in the machine language. Cylance was a true signatureless solution when it came to protecting the users from the today's attack surface. And it is not just the ransomware, the hackers, the user anomalies, the work from anywhere. These are the kind of challenges that most of the organizations are facing. And then you don't have skilled resources in the cybersecurity industry. To get a person who is skilled, who is trained, is expensive, and to retain that guy is also pretty expensive. So how we are doing it is, these are the solutions we have. The Cylance AI artificial intelligence machine language based model forms the core of the solution that BlackBerry offers. And through that, we have this multiple point solutions which works in conjunction, and they offer a complete single console, single managed solution services to the customer. So Cylance Protect is basically the next-gen antivirus signatureless solution that we offer to protect against the hackers and to detect the unknown malwares. We have the Silent Optics, which is the extended detection and response product solution that we have. Now we are seeing that threats are not just coming from the outside, threats are there from the inside also, right? There could be compromised credentials against which the organization needs to defend itself. So we have user anomalies, and to ensure that we protect against them, we have Cylance Persona as another product. And the panelist and my earlier colleague talked about the Zero Trust working from anywhere. So there we have the Cylance Gateway, which is going to provide you secure connectivity and help you connect through hybrid cloud model and everything. And all these solutions are it can be a point solution for mid-market enterprises. For large enterprises, they'll be able to hire people, resources, and manage things. But for a number of organizations which are like mid-market, as I said, there's a huge cybersecurity skill gap. It's difficult to get a trained resource, a threatware analyst, or a malware analyst, and do all kind of threat hunting. So we have our own SOC services. We have a team of around 300 plus people who are based around the globe, and we do a complete managed services to the customer. So how is the Cylance Protect, a signatureless solution, different from all the antivirus that we see across available in the marketplace? Most of the solutions that we see are based on signatures. All the legacy vendors that we talk about, whether it is McAfee, whether it is Symantec, Trend Micro, their solution is based on signature. So when there is a virus which comes out, they'll make a signature, and they will apply those signatures. They'll ask the customer to apply those signatures to secure your systems. And that's a reactive approach. What we are talking about is a completely proactive approach. It's a signatureless technology where the silence model, they have analyzed 1.4 trillion files based on the behavior pattern. They have extracted 1.1 million features. They have classified them into different parameters and came to a conclusion whether it's a good file or a bad file, based on which they are able to say very quickly in a span of 10 to 15 milliseconds whether the file is a good file or a bad file, and able to block the malware. So this is the solution that we have. And unlike some of the other next generation antivirus companies which are there in the market, which will work only when you are connected to the cloud, they won't work offline. Our solution is not cloud dependent. It's actually, we don't need cloud. It can work locally once you install the agent on your devices, whether it is a laptop, whether it is a server, whether it is a tablet, whether it is IoT devices. It supports all kind of platforms, OS, whether Windows, Mac, Ubuntu, all kind of flavors of Linux, it supports. It's a very lightweight agent, hardly takes 0 to 1% of the CPU utilization. It works very fast. 50 milliseconds is what it takes to detect the malware, which is like a blink of an eye. And the best part is that it's 99.97% accurate. So we have 0 false positives. When we compare to the other vendors, you will get thousands of alerts, wherein to manage those alerts, to remove those alerts from the dashboard, it will take a lot of time for your security personnel. Here, the efficacy rate of the solution is so high that it will block all malwares, and you will have a 0 false positive. It has a lot of other features, as you can see on the right side, like script control, blocking script control, doing application control, device control, right? And another good part is that you don't have to do a patch update, so you don't have to do a scan on a every week basis. Like if you go for the legacy antivirus solutions, you will have to do a patch update, and you will have to scan the system. You will have to do scheduled scans to detect the malware. Here in our case, these things are not required at all. So that's a big differentiator, and it comes as a big productivity advantage for the customer, for the users. These are all the kind of malwares that we have seen, and what you see in below, like -44 and -52, is basically the predictive advantage. So we know the malwares like Not4Petya, WannaCry, and all these things. So our solution, because it's so advanced, the artificial intelligence and machine language model is so mature, it's able to predict 30 months, 40 months in advance that these kind of solutions, these kind of hacking techniques will be blocked. And this is not what we are saying. This has been endorsed and verified by SE Labs, which is an independent threat research company. And they did a test on a 2015 silence agent, which was not upgraded. And on that 2015 agent, we put all the 2021 and 2022 malwares were put on that particular machine. And the 2015 agent was able to block all the malwares. So you can imagine the power, the maturity of the AI and ML engine which is there at the back end of this solution. It gives you a predictive advantage of almost like 5 years to 6 years, which is not from fiction. It's basically a reality that we are offering. Now, this is the silence optics. One is we are blocking all the ransomwares, but there could still be few misses where we need more deeper insights, where we need more threat intelligence. And that's where we need a human intelligence also to come into the picture. And that's where the silence optics actually comes into the picture. It gives you a lot better visibility in terms of what's happening on the endpoints. It will record all the logs on your system, what's happening on the system. You can have the option of storing the logs for 30 days or for 365 days as you wish, right? And it has all the curated tools which you can use. Either you can use it or there's a lot of automation built into the tools and you can program it and it will run the reports and run the threat hunting automatically on its own. Or you have the Blackberry service to do that on your behalf. So this is the silence persona, the 𝐂𝐲𝐿 solution we have. Now, people are talking about zero trust. In the earlier discussions, we heard the zero trust solution that came into the picture, right? But how do you do that? And again, if it's a disparate solution, multiple consoles, multiple dashboard, it becomes a challenge. So here you have single platform, single solutions, and these are all point solutions, not necessary that the customer has to buy. He can start with Protect, he can upgrade with Optics, EDR, he can then further add based on his confidence and trust that he builds up. He can buy the persona, he can buy the services, and he can buy everything. So this is the silence persona as we heard in the previous discussion. It's a zero trust, it works on the zero trust principle. It will do a complete analysis of the user based on the location, based on the kind of his behavior, and over a period of time as the user works, it will build up his own profile and a risk score of that particular user. And if there is an anomaly, it will prompt him to authenticate. But continuous authentication is fine, but if we have too many authentication process, the user experience goes bad. So zero trust is good, but zero trust combined with zero touch gives the user a good experience. So what we say is that zero trust combined with zero touch, because the software will have a lot of intelligence built into it based on the user profile and risk score. It will only prompt when it will see that there is a critical anomaly or there's a critical threat, and it will ask for the authentication, not continuous authentication. It is a continuous authentication process because it is continuously checking at the back end, but not prompting the user to do it. So while we talked about the EDR and the 𝐂𝐲𝐿 solution, we know that people are working from home, people are working from different locations, people are accessing the corporate application through when they are on their move, right? And we need to provide a secure connectivity to the user to ensure that there is no data breach, there is no data leakages that is happening. And that's where the silence gateway comes into the picture. VPN solutions, 2 decades back, VPN solutions were good because they used to provide you the authentication, and you can have a device which is secured, connect to the network. But today, with the compromised credentials being put on the net, anyone can have access of your credentials and use your device virtually to get into the network and exfiltrate data. To avoid such kind of situations, we have this Blackberry gateway, which again is going to use all the tools that I talked about, whether it is Protect, whether it is Persona, whether it is Optics, all works in conjunction to detect any kind of threat which could be a possible thing, and it will block it. So it will have application segmentation, it will have risk scoring, and based on the user profile and access, it will allow the user to access that particular data. And any anomaly, it will just simply block it. Yeah. So what we are seeing is that the access to the corporate data is just not limited to the laptop and desktops, right? People are today using tablets and mobile devices in a large way to access all their corporate application. And we have the same solution extended to the mobile devices also. It could be on a tablet, it could be any other device which the user is using, and through the Silence Protect Mobile, we can not just ensure, and with all the solutions, we will ensure that any device, anywhere, the user accessing application, it's secured and there is no data breach that is happening. And as I said, the service is very important because today the kind of threats that we are seeing, which are ever expanding, which are increasingly becoming sophisticated, highly sophisticated, it is really difficult for a mid-sized organization to actually do a threat hunting and detect. And that's where the Blackberry Silence Guard service comes into the picture. So people who don't have skilled resources and they have compliance requirement or they have concerns that they want to use the services, we can have the managed services, the managed guard services, which will come in, and we can ensure that if there is any breach detected, we work in collaboration with you, we give you the alert, and through the tools that we have, we are actually going to block all the noise and only one or two threats that will come up on a daily basis, where we will probably work in conjunction with you and ensure that that particular threat is being removed. So it's a complete holistic solution that we are talking about. With the help of the point solutions we have, you can pick and choose whatever pieces of solutions that you want to have. And this combined with the MDM solution, which I didn't talk about today at this point of time, you can have a far more secure policy to ensure that there is no data leakage, there is no data exfiltration happening. People today are using WhatsApp group, right? And through the WhatsApp group, when the employee leaves, there's a lot of critical data which goes along with the employee. You don't have any control of all the critical data which the organization has shared over the WhatsApp. So we have solutions which we can discuss offline, where these kind of data leakage also can be prevented through MDM solution and the entire cybersecurity space, silent cybersecurity space coming and working together. Thank you. Any questions? We are there. Please come to our stall if you would like to. Any questions? Right now, for certain EDR and MDR services, we need to collect the data points. We need to collect the telemetry data, right? And these data are hosted not in India at this point of time. These data are hosted on the Amazon cloud outside of India. But we do have a plan. We are working internally to have a Amazon instance here in India so that we can address these kind of issues in the coming future. But right now, we don't have a data instance in India.
Thank you very much. Very nice session. You mentioned that the solution you're offering doesn't need the cloud connectivity all the time.
Yep.
So how it actually works when it comes to detection and prevention story when you're not connected at all?
Yeah. So the AI and ML based engine, we are on the 7th generation of that mathematical model, and there's a lot of intelligence which is built into that model. And I also talked about the 5 years and 6 years of predictive analysis that the model is able to do and block malware. So the model is getting continuously updated. While we are not, you don't need to update the model over a period of 1 year or 2 years, because what you have seen is that over the last 10 years, we have only 7th generation. We are only on the 7th generation. So it's only once in a year or once in 2 years that we are releasing a new model which needs to be applied to the patch. And that's where that's the only time when we need the cloud connectivity. Otherwise, the agent has got all the intelligence built in to ensure and protect or to prevent any kind of malware from happening. And what we believe in, because if you saw the first slide, we talk about the preventive first model, the video also what we played. We are not in the stage of detection when the breaches happen and doing all the forensics and then giving the analysis. The objective is to detect in the 10 to 15 milliseconds at the pre-execution stage of the malware and block it from execution itself. And that's where we have the 99.97% accuracy with 0 false positive. So all the intelligence is built into the AI and ML based mathematical model. And we have more than 50% share of the patents that has been filed by any cybersecurity company in the AI and ML space. Blackberry, Silence combined put together. So that talks about the kind of advancement, the maturity of the model that we have.
Fantastic.
I hope it answers your question.
It does, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Khanna and a big round of applause for our platinum partner, Blackberry. What an absolute delight to have you with us, sir. And you started off with sir was justifying what a transformation. We were a little surprised looking at the photograph. But sir, I think we'll have to connect. You will have to give us tips on how did you have this amazing upgrade in technical terms or transformation. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much again. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. We look forward to having you
Yeah.
again.
Thank you.